Hi everybody, Farmer Joel here. Welcome to another video. It is now late June and we just hit the solstice. So the very middle of the year, the longest days, the shortest nights. And as I've said in some of the other videos, this is the hardest part of this farm season. It's just super busy. We've got fall crops still going into the ground. We've got some of the earliest spring crops are getting ripped out right now. And we're taking care of all the summer crops. We've got harvests and deliveries going on now. All the animals are on the pasture. There's new chicks in the brooder still. Things are coming back from the butcher. It's just a super busy time. So we're just trying to stay on top of all the work and make sure nothing really gets out of control these days. But we do a lot of running around and it's super busy time. So this week's video is going to be a little bit shorter, and I'm going to take a close-up look at how we raise our broilers on pasture. You've seen these pens before in other videos. We raise all of our chicken on pasture, out in the fresh air, in these movable, floorless pens. So this is a new pen, a new design that we're just trying for the first time. It's pretty cool. We are more familiar with these wooden square pens that you've seen in several of the other videos, but this is how we raise our birds every day, and I just wanted to show you a little bit more of a close-up of what that all entails. So let's take a look. So we've got two styles of pens here. One, the newer pen, is 8 by 16 feet. It's got a tarp covering and the birds are all under there with their feeders built in, and it's got largish wheels, which you can't see right behind the grass there. And this is the old style pen, which is wooden, 10 by 12 feet, about the same square footage, holds about the same number of birds, made out of wood, quite a bit lighter, but that is also a disadvantage when you have a windstorm. So these were the type of pens that a couple of weeks ago in that storm totally blew away. But they're a lot cheaper to build, and we've been using them for several years. Inside the pens, we've got troughs on the ground filled with the grain ration, and we've got a little waterer down there that you can see. Those get refilled every single day so that the birds always have fresh water and food. And then each day we're also taking the pens and moving them forward onto the next spot of grass so that they have fresh ground to be on, lots of green material to eat, bugs to eat, and of course they're manuring our pasture. So, you know, they're living a very comfortable, clean, open air, sunshine kind of life. Very comfortable and sanitary for them. They're also manuring the pasture for us, which we can't do very well ourselves. And so it's a synergistic operation where we do what only humans can do, protecting them, feeding them, watering them, and they do what only birds can do, which is build the fertility, eat the grass, digest the grass, eat the bugs, digest the bugs, all of that. So together, the whole pasture really thrives. So each morning, whoever's on chicken chores is gonna come out and move all these pens forward one spot. New water, new feed in each one of them, and generally check up on the birds to make sure it's okay. So the first thing to do in the morning is get the chickens feed, which comes out of this gravity bin. We get all of our feed from a local farmer who grows and grinds and mixes the feed for us. And we pick it up at his farm in this gravity bin. He's just down the road. But each morning, get the feed out of the gravity bin into 5-gallon buckets. We keep this parked near the broiler pens so that it's not a long way to walk to the pens where we'll be feeding, watering, and moving the birds. The next thing that happens is the waterers and feeders are taken out of all of the pens before moving them forward one spot. We've got watering points throughout all of the pasture. Hoses and float valves means we can just drop the end of a hose into a bucket while we do other parts of the chores and refill their water so that the birds have clean, fresh water every single day, all day long. So Jerry's moving this pen forward off of this ground, and if we come back here and take a look, we can see the manure that's laid on the ground. Pretty heavy dosage. And that stripe of mashed down grass goes all the way back to where it started. But let me go show you some grass that's several weeks old from where these pasture pens have been. So this is a part of the pasture that those pasture pens came through several weeks ago. And in just a couple weeks, this has regrown with an incredibly lush stand of grass. This stuff is deep and tall and thick. And you can just imagine how much photosynthesis is going on in this area of the pasture. Almost no light penetrates down to the soil, so it's close to 100% photosynthetic capture of the solar energy. And all of that energy is put down into the soil, feeding the microbiome down there and keeping that alive and lush. Roots are going down, penetrating deeply, building topsoil, creating a more resilient ecosystem, because that topsoil has a tremendous amount of fertility in it, but it also can absorb and hold water through drought times and absorb it during wet times. It just creates a way more balanced ecosystem overall, and a whole lot more forage for our cows when they come through. So everybody benefits from those birds putting down their manure and being moved over the pasture, and they're doing some incredible work that we really couldn't do without them. And just for comparison, this is an area of the pasture that has not had any animal impact this spring. It's had a long time to grow up, the same amount of rain, the same amount of sunshine as that other portion of the pasture, but very little grass here. There's a lot of wild strawberries and low growing things right down to the ground. But as you can see, as I sway my arm through it, there's very few things sticking up high. There's not much growth going on in this area of the pasture. Same age, same sunlight, same water as that other area, but no chicken impact. So you can see pretty easily that those chickens' manure that they lay down in each spot on the pasture really increases the biomass that we're producing, really increases the amount of solar energy that we're capturing from the sun and putting down into the soil. And all in all, just totally jumpstarts this ecosystem. It's really profound, and we're super thankful that those birds do what they do and that we can work with them to create that kind of change in this landscape. So there you have it. That's how we move our pasture pens. That's the kind of the effect that they have on the pasture. It's really quite a profound effect, and it's only a few minutes of chores every morning to move them onto new ground, refeed, rewater. They're totally comfortable in that environment, well protected from predators, open air, sunshine, and lots of green things and bugs to eat. Pretty simple process, really profound effect on the ground, and incredibly nutritious chicken for you guys. So thanks for watching another video on the farm, seeing where your food comes from and what goes into producing it. See you again next week in the next video. Thanks, bye.